Yeah, 100%. Let me I'll go down right now. I know you've done your own breakdown. So I'm just looking for a close below this level.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get any kind of sells, it'll be below this level, right back over here. And then you just gotta see how big this range is. It's big enough. About 30
Yeah.
pips. And then you'll have an even better move.
Below that area, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you take anything yesterday after the stream?
Well, not till Asian. So what I did was I caught. If you want to go back to gold, I was calling it in the Asian session over here. I caught this move.
Okay.
Where
On
is it?
gold, right?
Yes. This was the retry. I tried taking it over here first, and this
Yeah.
candle ended up closing bullish and holding some kind of a support. So I ended up just closing 50 and then the full thing right away. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to be done with this session. I'm not going to trade it. And then we ended up getting like another retry, like another presentation of where we could retest these lows over here. And that's what I did. So I just grabbed this move right here.
Nice.
Yes, sir. How about yourself?
No, I didn't get anything. I think I was about to take the one that I messaged you on about waiting for the bottom wick and it never came. So I was like, fuck.
What? Which one? Do you?
I think it was like straight after the stream
Let's
on
see.
GJ.
Oh, yes, I think so. Let's see. Did you message me separately?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you did, yeah. You got cat coming in. 3%. Looking at GJ and buys is the 30-minute close. Okay. So you were looking at, where were we? This was yesterday, right? Yeah, you were looking for this move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
end up taking it?
No.
No.
I was waiting for the bottom wick and it didn't come. So
Yeah. On the 15 or the 30-minute?
30.
Hey, Cat.
Then,
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. So Sammy, you were saying with this candle?
yeah. But not that one, on previous.
Previous right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one ended up passing the high right away. I remember that.
Yeah. And then you said something about the 4 hour just open or something.
Yeah, I was saying wait for 9 o'clock right here for the 4
Yeah.
o'clock or for the 4 hour candle to open. So it ended up opening right away and just pushing up from what I remember. Oh no, we actually created that bottom wick, which was right over here. Yeah, I just wasn't looking at the chart at the time. So I was like in and out of the chart on the road. So it was hard for me to kind of like grab something like this, but this could have been a good move. Yeah. Could have put your stop loss possibly even below this candle right here, 15 pips away, or you could put it like around 25 pips away for a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Could have been a move. But we ended up coming back above and retesting 167,500 again, and then breaking through it. And then now we're kind of coming right back below that level. And we're starting to reject it, as you can see on the daily over here. All right. Oh, good work, Kat.
Well, no. So I didn't take it because it was at 1 p.m., but I saw it and I was like, I don't know how to feel about this because it's happening at 1 p.m., but it's like textbook perfect.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been valid to take something like that? I mean, very seldom I feel it happens that you just so happen to look at a chart and like the setup is like just right smack in front of your face. You know what I mean?
Yep. When you didn't take anything in the New York session, right?
I did, and like it smacked me.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
um,
That first trade up there.
uh-huh.
Do you remember what my not rules, but my plan was for gold as far as sales? What I yesterday?
Yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure it was right here. We were both talking about how like this would have been the nicer area for cells, because my first area for cells would have been that part where it says quick scalp, but it just kind of fell without us, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So this was like the level that made sense for cells. Like it was legit perfect.
Well, this right here is what I was saying. Like you want to wait for this level to break, and what we
Uh-huh.
got was this low created, right? Perfect retest and beautiful bearish lower high, lower low created with a strong bearish close. You could have ended this right after this candle closed.
Yeah.
Right here, stop loss right here, and you could have taken this down. Now, again, I like your discipline for not taking something in the middle of the afternoon. Um, but the more you start to see some things, you're gonna start to notice, like if you're back testing and like you could be fast forwarding on SoftFX, and as you're fast forwarding, you're gonna realize that through some of the sessions that you're not trading, like New York close, let's say, you're gonna notice like, oh, there's a big move at New York close sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the more you start to study that, and the more you perfect your trading plan that we've written out for you, where you're focusing on these trading sessions, like New York, I'm only trading from 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. And if I don't catch anything, I have till 11 a.m. to catch something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that on your trading plan?
Yeah, I mean, basically the max would be 11 a.m. for me.
Okay. So eventually, like this trading plan is really just a rough draft that you're going to be improving on. You're going to be adding things, taking things away, whatever you want to do. But as time goes on, you're going to be implementing this trading plan through back testing. So you're going to start to see, okay, I have some moves in the afternoon that I could possibly grab. But what are my rules for these moves? I'm going to lower my risk significantly. Like if I see my perfect setup and you're looking at the chart, I I suggest not scalping in the afternoon around like 1 p.m.
Right.
It's not as much volume. I'm gonna
Yeah.
recommend that, but I'm not gonna tell you what to do and what not to do. So if you start to see like around this time we start to get this move with this setup, like I'm just gonna lower my risk a little bit from normally 2% to now 0.5%, and I could just play this thing out and see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But right now you're just live back testing it. You're not actually entering these like what you did right here, right? You were looking at the chart and you were live back testing this.
Not really. Like I just hopped on and I was like, oh man, this is what I was waiting for all
Okay.
morning, like one of the perfect scenarios. And because it is such a low time frame volume, like it allowed for that perfect break and retest to play out just like that, exactly how you're saying. So I was like 100% aware that, well, first of all, that it might have not played out, but also because it was low volume, that it could have very well just been like a longer trade.
Mhm.
But I didn't feel like I wasn't too sure about it. But yeah, like everything you're saying makes 100% sense. And I
Awesome.
have noticed that too, that like off of like New York sessions or high volume sessions, sometimes you'll see those perfect setups like this
Yep.
because the time will allow it. So yeah, one for the books for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is something I probably would have capitalized on specifically because this is what we pointed out would happen after the
Uh-huh.
session, and what we said we would be waiting for with gold cells, right? We said safe
Mhm.
cells, safe first cells will be below here, but real safe cells will be once we break this level and create this low down here and retest it, then we could continue right back down. So if these are going to be trades that you take during the afternoon, one, I would lower my risk. You want to write this down. I would lower my risk, and two, I would focus on the higher time frames. If I get a nice setup on the 1 hour, like you have right here, this is a perfect 1 hour setup. I would experiment with this and just lower my risk,
Mhm.
right? But you're doing the right thing right now by not taking it, and especially because you just came to the chart, not just jumping into a trade like that. That's great discipline. You got to pat yourself on the back for that. But as time goes on, you're going to be monitoring gold, setting alerts. Like you could have set an alert for this level. Oh wow, we dropped on gold after I left the chart, right? And I just got an alert for this level. Let's see if we create this low, retest up here, and then we could possibly retest the low if we get a strong 1 hour close. Now I can lower my risk and take it.
Yeah, right. 100%.
So I think you made the right move, but this is something that you could start to study.
Yeah.
What's up, Miles?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
How are you? I'm doing great.
I'm good. I'm good, man.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Glad to hear. Glad to have you back, man. Congratulations again.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's I was telling the guys yesterday how great of a honeymoon it was and all that stuff. And for me, any kind of vacation I go on, I love that last day. Well, I don't love the last day because you're dreading coming home and you just want to stay on the island, stay wherever you're at. But that last day, once you get out of that mode, it's like, all right, I can't wait to come home and get to work and stuff like that. And I've been, once you're sitting away from the chart for about a week, you're like, all right, I can't wait to come back, and get back into the rhythm of everything. So it's good to be live trading with you guys again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, weekend was good. Weekend was good. I'm actually just getting ready. Me and my girlfriend are going to New Brunswick tomorrow. I live in Ontario. I'm like kind of Toronto-ish area, but we're thinking about seriously considering moving to New Brunswick because the real estate there is just so much cheaper. So we're gonna go down there tomorrow morning. We're gonna take a flight down there, check out some properties, and she's gonna meet with a potential employer. So yeah, things are good. Things are good.
Beautiful. Wait, now New Brunswick in Canada?
Yeah, New Brunswick, Canada. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I got a New Brunswick 30 minutes away from me.
Oh, really?
That's why I was like, wait a minute, because I was like, when you were first saying that, I was like, he's definitely talking about Canada. Then when you said you're taking a flight down, I was like, wait a minute, is he actually coming to Jersey? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would be.
Right, but so you're looking at properties with your girlfriend just for the two of you?
Yeah, just for the two of us. Yeah, we're looking at detached, either single family properties, and we're also going to look at some duplexes because, like, for example, there we can get like a duplex or a triplex for like 300,000, whereas in our area now that same thing would probably be like 800,000, somewhere around there. So yeah, like it's just how much cheaper it is there. Like we could have just a much better quality of life with kind of maintaining our outputs, so to speak. So yeah.
We're patiently sitting back and kind of waiting for this market to correct because it's like some of the houses that we're looking at are going for like $600,000-$700,000 right now, and they're really, I think, valued around like 354 in a normal market. And it's just like such a big bubble right now that we're sitting back just paying rent. Like I'm happy with that. Plus, like you got a couple different besides the fact that you're just throwing money into a pit when you're renting, you have freedom to go wherever you want after a year, right? Maintenance, I just give them a call, say, yo, come over, fix this if you can, and they do, and it's easy. Very simple to rent right now, but yeah, we're just basically stacking away and waiting to pounce on this market when it corrects.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know that makes sense.
So how's your trading been last week? Pretty good?
Last week was honestly, last week wasn't great. It was okay. I had a day where I overtraded a little bit, but I managed to still have a profitable week, which is good. But I was very, very aware of that day I overtraded. But in general, lately it's been going really well. I think I can finally confidently say like I'm a profitable trader now, which I'm pretty happy about. So yeah, man. It's been good, and like I
Awesome.
think it's yeah, and I honestly I don't think like I haven't had like an amazing week in a little while, but I've still been profitable those weeks. So that's kind of what's giving me those confidence. I know once I'm able to, string everything together, like I think it should be pretty not easy, but I don't think it will be too difficult for me to get one of those, 8 to 10% weeks. So that's the next thing I'm trying to do is, I got my confidence up. Now I'm trading with, 2% where it makes sense, 1% where it doesn't.
Good.
My decision making, I think, has gotten a lot better. I'm just waiting to get to that, have one of those breakout weeks, and then just replicate, and just get more confident leaving my trades and letting them run for a bit longer when they have that upside potential too.
100%. I first of all, it's a milestone. Congratulations. That's awesome. If you feel profitable, like you feel like things are really starting to churn a little bit, just pat yourself on the back and take that in for a second. And then at the same time, you're like, I am not satisfied whatsoever with where I'm at right now. And like having that I don't know, recognition of where you're at right now, but at the same time, just not being satisfied is exactly where you want to be. So just, take it all in and then be like, you know what, I got a lot more work to do and just keep going. Because once you feel like, and I've been here before, once you kind of feel like you've arrived, it'll come back to haunt you. And I'm sure you know that. So I already scheduled Zooms with Sammy and Kat for Sunday. Would you want to hop on something and go through some of your trades?
Yeah, sure. On Sunday, Sunday could work anytime after, anytime probably after like 1 or 2-ish. I come back on Sunday, but it's a short flight and it's early in the morning. So
well, if you come back Sunday, this will be easier for you because like I have them two scheduled on Sunday. So I was gonna say let's focus on Monday or Tuesday of next week. And that'll probably be easier for you because you got some breathing room from your trip.
Yeah, we could do Monday. I'm actually off Monday, so Monday works for sure.
Okay, before we start, let me just put you in here. Zoom. Monday. I put you in for all day, and then like closer to Monday, like Sunday or Saturday, we'll like lock down the time.
Sounds good.
All right, awesome. All right, so and also, we were supposed to go live with Sharma today, and her software wasn't working. So she said let's do Friday, I guess. So we'll be doing Friday with her. But looking over here at the economic calendar, you got some CAD news coming out. Or not news, but economic data, CPI coming out, common CPI, median. But other than that, existing home sales for the U.S., IMF meetings coming out all day today, G20 meetings all day today, G7 meetings. But other than that, not much data actually coming out, especially like this week as well. Like you got unemployment coming out tomorrow. You have Powell speaking, Bailey speaking, Lagarde speaking. Powell testifying, or I don't think he's testifying, he's just speaking. But other than that, you got manufacturing and services PMI on Friday, and then that's it. That's the week. So, don't expect much volume in the market. Stay patient with your setups. Just wait for your setups, sit back, analyze, be ready for them, have that exit plan as well, and then just pounce on your setups. But if you don't get them, got to be okay not taking anything, right? And also, if your setup is not playing out the way you planned on it, right? If you're looking for that push, like Sammy yesterday, we had that, what was it, a sell on GJ, and we got out at the exact time we should have gotten out. And we were focusing on our capital preservation instead of trying to make a bunch of money and marrying that move. We were able to get out at the perfect time and only lose a small amount of risk.
Steph, what do you remember what time that was? I probably caught the exact same sell as you guys too and got out at the same time probably.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. I'll break down the chart for you. It was over here. So we were obviously paying attention to this move over here, but we were looking at the current price action and how we were bouncing off 167,500, which was a significant level to the left. If you look at like the weekly, the monthly, all these levels over here, you get that previous support over here, 167,500. At this area, it reacted to as well. So once we were at this level and we tapped into it yesterday, the 4 hour, pretend this all didn't happen yet. So technically we were calling tops, but we were waiting for our rules with our calling tops and waiting for certain levels to break before taking sells. So our current 4 hour candle was looking like this right now, reacting to this level. So we were thinking, could price be coming down into this level again before continuing back up? So we were basically trying to catch sells back down to a previous support before continuing back up. So looking at the current price action, what we ended up getting was a strong bearish close after this support was formed. So we saw this support formed, and then this candle closing bearish right after it. 15 minutes?
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I definitely had the exact same entry, and I got out at the same time probably as you guys too.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, we were looking at this move right here as this candle created a top wick and passed the low of that candle. But what we wanted to, before this even presented itself, we said if we get that close below the support, we want a range to be formed so that we could come back up and retest this area and then continue down. Now, we were partially paying attention to this area, but what I wanted everyone to pay attention to was the clean move right here, right? That we could be mirroring back down into this area if we get that retest right over here, right? But just be aware of this area right here to close partials or, make sure that you see price not like reacting to it. And if you do, you can start securing from that point. But what we got was this low being created, price starts coming back up to retest this area. And then you start getting candles like this, a weak bullish candle. And then you get this bearish candle close, never passed the high of that candle and ended up closing bearish. So we ended up taking this after this candle created its top wick, past the low of these wicks, and we ended up taking it like right here. Does that sound familiar for you? I put my stop loss.
Oh no, I actually took it on the. Let me see if I can just connect here. I'll show you exactly where I took mine. I took mine based on the 30-minute, basically right here. Yeah, right after this 30-minute close, this created the top wick. I got in right here, and then I closed partials at, I think my stops were 20 pips, so somewhere around here just to give me some breathing room. And then I closed 75% around 1-to-1, and then tightened my stops, put my stops at BE.
And it gets out that break even.
Yeah, so yeah, I got stop break even. So I risked 2% on that, and I made 1.29% on it. So.
Good shit, man. It's a good move. Yeah, we were looking at this too, but with my rules with calling tops and such a big bullish movement, I was just looking for this retest over here to continue down. But I thought we were getting the retest right here, and then you start to like look at the other time frames over here. You start to realize that like the 4 hour is going to be closing soon, right? So we could be getting a bottom wick formed and price retracing before this 4 hour close, plus the top wick on the next one to continue down if it's going to go down. And then you start to pay attention to this area here, 30-minute, this resistance right over here. And price, what happened was we ended up dropping. We're looking for this quick drop, get the 1-to-1, get the 10 pips, 15, 20 pips, and then be out of it before price holds support and continues up. But what happened was we ended up reacting to this area over here and getting some bullish movement. And I think once this 15-minute started to retrace, we went, I think, like 7 pips in profit. Then we came back to the entry. And then once you start to get some of this movement, like that bullish close on the 5-minute and start to come in here, this is where I ended up closing the full thing right around here.
Nice.
It looked like we were coming up to retest this area. continue down, and then we get this bullish close right here, and then this bullish close right here. And after this one, I close 50. After this one, I close the full thing.
Nice. Yeah, that same trade that you guys were thinking, I was because that would have been my second. I was literally considering that exact trade for a scale in, but I ended up not getting in because I was like, I'm already up right now. I'll just leave it. But yeah, no, I definitely saw that opportunity as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you caught the better trade, so that's awesome. So let's go over to GJ and start breaking down from the higher time frames over here. So again, like that 167 500 level is pretty significant, I would say. We could be pushing through it. We'll see if we do. We got to see on the lower time frames. But right now, we're kind of like just sitting in that area. Not to mention, we just kind of faked it out as well. If you take a look at the daily, not the daily, but the 4 hour. Oh, that makes more sense. There we go. Now you look at the daily over here, ended up passing the high of this candle right here, breaking 167 500, and then closing bearish, flipping bearish over into this area again, right? So we rejected it. 4 hour, you get the fake out, right? Now this level 167 flat right here, this previous support, we are now currently below, right? So looking at the 1 hour now, we got to just adjust. So far, we are holding this previous resistance, then that support that was formed yesterday to continue up. We're now currently holding a support. 8 o'clock just opened up, right? And the 8 o'clock candle just closed bullish with a higher low and a higher high, right? So are we going to be reacting to this area again and continuing back up, right? Or are we going to end up closing below here to continue down and fill that wick and continue down further than that, which you have about 30 pips in here. And then all the way back down to this previous resistance over here. Got about 110 pips. There you go. Let's move this over. So could we grab one of those moves over here? This doesn't look too strong of a bullish candle over here, but it is the 1 hour candle and it created a higher low and a higher high. The previous 30-minute candle did close bearish, right? Closed bearish with a wick to possibly fill, but it also rejected this level multiple times, right? We rejected here multiple times as well. So can we get that close below here? Or are we going to reject it again and hold support to continue back up? So we'll see what we get over here. But let me look at the 15-minute. 15-minute is now a mess, right? So you kind of want to just stay out of this area right here, right where it's at. It's just a big range on the 30-minute as well. Yep. So wait for this level to clear for any kind of buys, and you could grab a nice move up to 167 500, or wait for that close below 800 over here. A nice clean 30-minute close below this area to then continue down. And I would wait for this close below. Next candle creates a top wick rejection, and then we flip bearish. I would take it there. You don't have to wait for that retest right there. Make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. You guys all see the same thing? Sammy, Kat?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Now, looking at gold. Gold, I have our significant levels marked off on the weekly, daily, monthly. Got 1680, 1750. Get that 1800 level. I didn't mark off, but 1910 and 2000 we're sitting right between. You could also say 1900, but I like that 1910 level because of the lower time frame over here. But right now, we're still holding this support over here, and we ended up retesting the candle body highs up here at 2000, right? But then we ended up flipping bearish. So the current weekly candle ended up getting that bullish push in the beginning of the week, and now we're flipping bearish, coming right back into this range over here. So it's starting to look nasty already. Looking over here, we have two significant levels. We got this level right here, if you guys remember, was a previous resistance, and then we ended up holding that resistance over here, then faking it out, coming right back below it. It's the 1950 area. And then we also ended up holding that resistance over here before breaking above, right, to retest 2000. So once we came right back down to this level over here, now this candle is starting to flip bullish, right, and react to this area, right? So are we going to close below that area or close above it and continue up? You also have this level right over here that I'll mark off in a second. Yeah, see, it's starting to get a little messy over here. So we'll do that. See, this is obviously a pretty strong area, pretty strong resistance over here, multiple times. Now holding its support again, right? We did have what I was pointing out yesterday on the analysis channel is a bullish trend on the 4-hour that we've been holding, right? We've been creating higher highs, higher lows, also consolidating over to this level, right? A lot of consolidation over here, but bouncing off that level and then creating another high, right? Now we're coming back down to that level, also a previous support over here. So now this is a very key level, right? Trend line meeting up with a previous supply zone, now a demand zone, and price pushing up. You're getting two consecutive 4-hour candles over here, right? The 1-hour now, we can adjust this right over here. If you take a look, previously we just closed above this level right here, right? We've been having lower lows, lower highs created. Once we're going to create this trend line over here. So coming back to this key level, we've been creating these lower lows and lower highs, but now we found this support at this higher low level on the higher time frames. Then we get this push above this support or resistance, and now are we coming down to retest that area to hold support and continue back up to possibly this area right here, and also a key level. Right in here. So how many pips do we have from here to here? About 69.70, right? So can we hold support right over here, get a bullish closing over here, and then continue back up with some clean moves to the left, about 70 pips to grab? Or are we going to end up faking this level out, closing below it, retesting it, and then continuing right back down to retest the low over here, right? So you have two different options. We hold support here, continue over here. We'll see what we do from there. Maybe break through it, or are we going to get the same thing over here? To continue right back down. That makes sense?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Kat, are you seeing the same thing? I know your main pair is gold.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I wait for a close below that 50 level though, if I were to take a sell. So
Okay.
being patient with that. If not,
Good.
basically taking it up how you're saying, since we have been pretty bullish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've been bullish the whole session over here. I'm just, again, this is the 30-minute, so it's a little bit clearer. Just wait and see if we hold that support right here. Let's see if this candle ends up rejecting and closing above or below. If it closes below, you could get that top wick rejection, retest over here, and then continue right back down. And then you get a nice little fake out in an actual downtrend. Now the 15.
Also, sorry, Steph, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say also just something that that I noticed, like with my gold chart markup, is that same area where we're waiting for that that break around 1950 also looks like it could be a potential daily support. So that's just something that I'm personally gonna be cautious of, is just the close there, because I kind of have like a bit of a thicker zone just around that daily support area, just because I want to see how price kind of reacts to that area as well.
You talking right here?
Yeah, let's see.
Right
Sorry, is that the daily? So on mine, yeah, right there.
Yeah, I actually see what you're talking about, because you see these wicks right here.
Yeah, right there. That's where I have it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. You got all these wicks rejecting 1950 over here, and now this candle passed the low of that candle probably right away, and now flip bullish, right above this level, this black line, right? So I could very well see us reacting to this area and continuing up at least into this zone up here, right? The 2 4-hour candles are healthy bullish candles right here. And this candle has a wick to fill. Right, so do we have time for price to continue to push up? I could definitely see us pushing up from here as long as we stay above this level. You know? And plus, like looking at the daily too, it's kind of hard to sell this with a reaction like this candle has right here. Right? As well as bouncing off this key 4-hour trend line and daily trend line to key zone. Now you're going to get a lot of reaction to a zone like that. 1 hour, let's see. So again, you get this strong 1 hour candle close above that level over here, right? Now we're just getting that pullback. Are we going to stay above that line, 1950 line, and continue up? Let me actually just mark this off as 1950. Does my chart look too confusing? Is it clear for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's good for me.
All right, good. Kat, you good? Jamie? All right, good. So I'm waiting to see. And as you can see, I also adjusted this line over here a little bit higher, because looking at the 15-minute, you get that previous support here, resistance, and then support here on the 15-minute. So, I mean, you could really extend it and do it like this. You could hold the support anywhere in this area. But if we hold the support right above this area right here, right, and we never close below the support right here, that's even better to continue up. But I think we would want a close, and that's a great point by Miles. We would want to close below 1950 to take sells. So now, as you can see, GJ is still kind of like playing around, ranging in this area right here. So we're just going to wait for that as well. It's failing to break below that support. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's move our labels here. Gold. And then gold over here. I'm just going to journal this. If you up. Because I feel like gold is going to be the player for us. So yeah, Miles, that's awesome. That confidence is starting to come in.
Yeah, yes, sir, for sure.
Great feeling, isn't it?
Slowly but surely. Yeah, absolutely.
I know Sammy feels that. And Kat is well on her way. You guys are putting the work in, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome, Miles. Congrats.
Thank you, thank you. It's like it's weird to this is like one of the first times like I've said it out loud because it's like you don't want to jinx it like the first times you're like kind of experiencing. I'm like I kind of you just want to get immersed in that actual process. And then I look back, I'm like, oh shit, last 3 months I've actually been profitable, not very profitable, but still profitable. So I'm like, okay, I mean, I'll take it.
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying. I sometimes get a little like, I don't know if like afraid of feeling the same way. Like, no. Like, I need to almost like recalibrate myself and start training myself to think like I can do it type thing. So that it doesn't become like a psychological thing at that point, because then that would be like a hindrance and like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the funny part about that is like, oh, we got that 15-minute close below this level, but still not below 1950. The funny part about that is all your self-confidence from like trading and like Miles, what you're going through right now is just because you've been able to trust yourself a little bit more, right? Because like if you're kind of buying into the superstitions, like I don't want to jinx this and stuff like that, that could be just like one of those like false winning streaks that you're going through that like you really don't trust yourself yet, and you could end up screwing it up, and you can end up screwing it up. So like knowing what your system is, knowing that you're preserving your capital over trying to make more money, that's what's gonna like have that long lasting confidence for yourself and build that confidence for yourself, instead of it like feeling like I don't want to say this because I may screw it up. You know what I mean?
And it's funny, and for me, what also just made me more confident is seeing, oh, looks like gold's dropping here. Let's see what happens. But yeah, no, I was gonna say something that's made me more confident too is like I realized that I don't even. It's almost like if it's related to sports, like if I can drop 20 when I know I'm not even playing well, and I've been doing that for like weeks at a time, then I'm like, okay, I know once I actually am playing well, I'm gonna drop 40. And that's kind of how I felt like recently. Is just like I feel like I haven't been doing everything. I know I haven't been like optimizing everything in my trading, but I've still been able to be profitable. So funny enough, it's like some of those not great weeks actually ended up to me gaining confidence, because I know if I can still be profitable when I'm trading like this, then once I actually have everything everything clicking at once, then I know it's going to be game over.
That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, man, it's a great feeling, and a lot of us will get discouraged when we're taking losses and stuff like that. But when you really find your system to be profitable, and also you can trust yourself in the market, that's where trading just becomes like really fun, and you start to be able to like break the charts down like easily, where like where price is going to go. You don't know the exact movements, and you don't need to know the exact movements of how it's going to happen, but you have a good idea of where price is going to go, and then you have that backup plan. This is
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go on. We'll see what happens with gold here.
Yeah, but if you wanted to say something, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, no, like you said, I think one of the big things too is like you said, just kind of like trusting yourself, and I think what I noticed is like the two go hand in hand, like trusting yourself and not necessarily the strategy to get profit, but to manage risk is just so huge. And that's like, that's how you can, I think somewhere along the lines it clicked, and I was like, no, like I know for sure what I need to do is just really focus on managing risk. And I've known that the whole time, but like once I guess I kind of started applying it more and like taking less aggressive trades, that was huge for me. Like I think you remember sometimes I would take trades with like really tight stops and it wouldn't really give me an opportunity to get out early. Now I don't like, I don't really see the need to do that. Like maybe once in a blue moon, and if I do that, I'm gonna lower my risk. But that's been a big thing too, is just like I kind of had a click where I'm like, the game is just being able to be in the market while preserving capital. That's the game. Like once you actually are able to master that, the rest is pretty much not irrelevant, but it just falls into place and you can kind of switch things. And once I realized that that's really like where I need to be, and that's the most important thing, and I like executed that way, things slowly, the confidence just started building up a bit. I would just go 0.5%, 1%. Now I don't go higher than 2% right now, but I'm like the max I'll go is 3%. But that was a big thing too, is just not trying to go too quick before I'm ready. Just go at your own pace, and so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I hate like using this analogy because naturally, like I'm more comfortable going on the offensive, but this game really is like Hunger Games. It's like survival, right? If you could just stay in the game and, slowly make your money and slowly like move your way forward, gaining ground, stuff like that, you're doing well, right? But like if you're just like in the game, you do something crazy, and you get a couple like crazy wins, and then all of a sudden, after a couple weeks, you just end up blowing it all. Like, is that where you want to be? Right? You're gonna end up quitting doing that if you do it, enough times, and you're gonna end up losing. So if you could just stay in the game with the pros, the big players in here, and you're actually winning and preserving your capital, and just slowly chugging along, you're gonna be doing pretty well.
For sure.
Tag you guys on Instagram. It's 8:20 already.
Looks like GJ's might be getting ready for a little push here. Still no entry I see though.
Yeah, we need to clear this area because we're sitting in this range and we got that previous rejection right over here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that rejection right here, we could very well be pushing up, right? And then rejecting that area again and pushing down again. So just staying patient with this stuff. Like a lot of, I think, Kat, was it your move the other day? Yeah, it was on gold, right?
What?
I think gold, you sent a chart yesterday where you took like the buy right here, right? Thinking that we were breaching this resistance, and then price just like ended up tanking, right?
On gold.
This was on gold, yeah. But I'm saying a very similar setup where I'm saying like just wait for that close above this level.
Oh yeah.
Right, because you have multiple rejections. Just wait for that close above, maybe a bottom wick rejection, and then the next candle flips bullish and past the high of it. You could take that. Mm-hmm. But like if you just take this as this candle starting to break the resistance over here and you just jump in, you're going to end up losing that trade more times than not. Sometimes you'll grab a lot of people like using pending orders, like a buy stop right above this level. And if you have high volume, that's a good idea to do. But if you haven't back tested that enough, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, the thing about yesterday's trade was that it kind of did close slightly above the 1980 level. Mm-hmm. So I was seeing it as valid. Okay. Maybe it wasn't like perfectly like super above, but it was a tough one.
Yeah, this is what you're going to be recording down in like that trading AAR and writing down certain things that you're doing, your plan for that trade and what you ended up doing instead, or how you kind of saw that close above. Go back and study that in the charts and see how often that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, clouds, life and things. Now, looking at gold over here. at the 15-minute. Ended up closing below this support, nearest support over here, right? This candle pushed down, no top wick created, passed the low of that candle and came right down. Now this is good because right now we're creating a range. We're creating a low that we could come up and retest at 8:30, where we get the 30-minute close below 1950. Then you get the top wick formed on the 30-minute, and then it flips bearish, or you get a classic retest on the 30-minute. You know, honestly, you could put this thing right here. Just wait for a little retest of this whole area. It's 1950 right there. You get rid of this. Just stay patient. Anybody have any trades they want to look over?
Not for me.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good too. We basically already went over my one trade for this week, so.
I'm sorry, you said you already went over your one trade of the week?
No, we basically already like the same that I think you were when we went over the trade that you and Sammy caught yesterday.
Oh,
that was
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the only trade I've taken for the week. So
Awesome. Staying content.
For gold, we're basically waiting, I guess, 5 more minutes for the 30 to close. So at that point, would it be valid to put the stop loss if it works out? Like if we manage to close below the 1950 level, and the next candle forms the wick to continue down, would it be valid to put the stop loss, say, I don't know, like 10 pips above the level, not like extremely above the zone, because that's like a huge stop loss, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so like the 30-minute, let's say the 30-minute closes in 5 minutes, right? Next one creates the top wick, like right here, right there, and then flips bearish and continues down, right? You could place your stop loss like somewhere up here. If you want to do a close above this candle right here, you could. You just got to understand where you're going to end up securing if price goes the opposite way. So you could probably put it a couple pips above this previous 15-minute candle, right? That way, if this candle starts breaking its own high after flipping bearish, starts breaking its own high coming into this area, then you can use some of the lower time frames. Like if we're holding support on the 5-minute and continuing up, then you could start closing 50, close the full thing. But like the 30-minute, you want to put it above that wick. You really don't have to put it this high. Like I could see why somebody would, to stay clear in case anything happens in here. But if you start ranging here above 150 or 1950, then it may not be a valid trade.
Right.
So that's what I would wait for. I'm looking at the 5-minute right here, and it's doing that setup that we like on the higher time frames. Nice bearish candle with a wick to fill, weak bullish candle close with a retest. This candle creates its top wick past the low of that candle. But I am not going to take a trade based on the 5-minute. I use the 5-minute for, like, I would want this setup on the 30-minute, right? And then I'll use the lower time frames to see, okay, are we creating lower lows, lower highs, stuff like that. Like, I don't want to get faked out by that right before the 30-minute candle is about to close.
Right.
Kind of considering whether or not I still want to consider GJ buys, just because when I put up that trend line on like the 1 hour and 30-minute, it kind of makes me a little iffy, like for if those buys would still be valid,
Saying this trend line? So that's where you would want to actually wait for that close above this level, right? And then get that retest right over here saying that, okay, we're holding support, right, at that previous resistance, and now we got enough range to come up here. Got about 42 pips right here that you could be grabbing That way, you know that we actually broke the bearish trend. We're closing above the previous resistance. So that's the second confluence. Third one is us holding support here, right? And a fairly clean move to the left. Third is we got a big enough range. Fourth is, okay, where's my stop loss going to be? Is that a valid stop loss, right? All those things. Now, also, what's my exit plan for this trade? I actually want to get my magic keys ready here for gold. I'm getting that last minute push on the 30-minute. Wow. See, that setup actually played out right here on the 5-minute.
Mm-hmm.
So many times this plays out, but like it's so much better on. See, that's only like, it's about 18, 20 pips on the 5-minute, which isn't bad. But we're creating a bigger range over here for the 30-minute. And showing that like the 30-minute is going to close bearish, we may have a nice range that we could continue this down. Gives us confidence.
Yeah, if I saw that on the 5-minute after like a 30-minute close or something below that level, I would be all over that.
It's a nice setup. All right, 30-minute just closed below 1950, which is great. We're sitting right here at this support, this 50 EMA on the 15-minute. Now, the interesting thing is, how is this 4-hour going to close, right, in 30 minutes? Is it going to close bearish or bullish? And the next candle creates a top wick, past the low of that candle, continues down? Or is this candle going to have a ton of volume where it creates this top wick, flips bearish, and then pushes all the way down here? Right? Like, is that move, are we going to get this move before 9 o'clock? The 30-minute just created its top wick. See, this is tempting to jump in.
Yeah, I didn't end up taking it. I don't know. It's like, where would the stop loss even be now? Like, it's just looking like,
That's one of the main questions. I would say top 3 questions is, where's my stop loss going to be? And if you really don't know where it's going to be, if you don't have a valid place, I would just live back test it. Right. And this is what I was telling you before yesterday, Kat. Like, just got to be okay missing trades sometimes. Like,
I'm fine with missing this one. This one's like tricky. Like, yesterday felt a little bit more deceiving.
Yeah. Like, it's somewhat harder to let go. Right?
Yeah.
Just like relationships, right?
That's funny. But that's true.
It is. It's the same thing with relationships as it is with trades. And like, each of these pairs is a different relationship. That's why you can't be trading 10 different pairs, because you got to get to know every single person, being that every relationship is a pair. How are you going to manage 10 different boyfriends, Kat? But you don't have the problem with trading multiple pairs. But I'm saying, like, each trade as well, each setup is, you know, some you got to learn to let go, and some you got to capitalize on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, right now it's reacting to like that 1 hour kind of resistance to the left a bit. I don't know if it has any significance on the higher time frame, but it's definitely reacting to that level, which is another reason why I didn't enter. Like, if it would have been an earlier entry, I would have, but
yeah.
I might get in if it creates its own low. If it breaks its own low, like within the next couple minutes, I might get in and then just place my stops above the current 30, and then I would get out when it flips bullish.
Okay.
But only if I see it break its own low, so I know like that bearish volume is in the market. Other than, and it has to, yeah, that'd be the only way. Other than that, and I'm lowering my risk too. I'd only risk 1% on this.
mm-hmm.
So we got to break 1946.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about with GJ too?
Hmm.
This candle failed to close above that resistance right here. And this candle passed the high right away, trapped a lot of people, and now we're right back into that range. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, bro.
Awesome.
I'm just
Same
looking
page.
at GJ.
What'd you say?
I'm having a look at GJ. When it flips, well, it looks like it's flipping. Am I getting on a buy?
Okay. You got 40 pips in this range right here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if we stay
I
patient,
know.
gold is gonna present a nice move for us. I don't want to say a better move. Let's keep analyzing GJ over here.
Yeah, I kind of have the same idea with GJ too. If it breaks its own highs after creating that bottom wick, I could see a little push coming there too.
Yeah, definitely, because we're capitalizing on this bounce off this move. Last time we were at that move, we ended up tapping back up to 1967 500, right? 1 hour candle creates this one higher high, higher low, bullish close. This 1 hour candle created its bottom wick already, flip bullish. Are we gonna fill this wick and continue up? Let me see the 4 hour. Also, how's it? Is this 4 hour gonna close below or above this support? Looks like above.
And I just got in gold.
Oh, okay. Shit. Okay.
I'll see what happens. Like I said, if it flips bullish, then I'll probably just get out right away.
Okay. Playing around here.
Hmm.
Where's your
And it
stop loss
does.
right here?
Can you go to the 30? It's above the current 30. So it's 19,
Yeah.
48, 49. Yeah.
The 30-minute opened up right here, so that's why I figured this is the top wick on the 30-minute. It's definitely an area of interest. 1946. Nice. Should be at a 1-to-1 right now.
Right now, no, not yet. I actually got in a little late. I got in at 1945.71 is when it actually executed.
71.
So my
Okay.
stop loss ended up being about 28 pips is
Okay.
my stop loss.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I took a little bit off when it flipped bullish.
This one.
So I closed with 33% when it flipped bullish.
Okay. Are you still in?
Yeah, I'm still in right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's struggling around this 1946 level. Keeps making that push, but keeps reacting to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I just got out.
The GJ's interesting. Closed above this trend over here. So did we just come down to retest, and are we staying above this level over here? I'm just curious about this right here.
Yeah, I'm in DJ buys, by the way.
Okay. Where would you take it, Sammy?
I've seen us be flipped bullish this candle.
This candle, this one right here?
Yeah, the current one, yeah, because I assume that we made this bottom wick on the 30-minute
Yeah.
because it is kind of deep and it happens right away in the first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Hence,
I agree.
gave me the confidence to take it.
I like it. It's the 5-minute. Yeah, I think gold is kind of waiting for that 4-hour to close. I do like GJ right now.
Hmm.
Let me see, 1 hour, 4-hour. I just jumped in the GJ looking for this push before the 4-hour close. Looking for a quick
Nice.
scalp as we pass the high of the previous 30-minute. Just enter like a
Mhm.
1 lot.
Should be good, I think.
Yeah. Again, I'm just looking for that quick push. Get that 1-to-1. I'll probably close the full thing.
Yeah, I got in GJ too. That'll be my last trade for the day. I might even secure a little bit early, make back some of that smaller loss.
There you go. Okay, how about yourself? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking to potentially take gold up because I'm feeling like we're just bullish.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait for a 30-minute candle to form and see what happens, but I'm still like reanalyzing.
Okay. Let's see. Let's keep looking at it over here. So, Kat, I think a lot has to do with this 4-hour close, with the way it closes, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And it's reacting to that level quite hard. And I don't like that it closed above it. So I'm just not feeling like it's gonna go down, but I'm just gonna wait to see.
Okay. We got the 15-minute closing, which is good. That closed in about 2 minutes. Yeah, Kat, you could be right. I just think in this whole area right here, you're gonna get some kind of a retest, right?
Area?
Like a resistance form to continue down
Oh yeah.
with some 9 o'clock volume.
Yeah, I mean that level is super important. I would like to see some form of maybe a close above that slightly.
I think if you get a clean close above 1950, that would be safer bias to continue up. I wouldn't take bias from where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, cool. GJ's got a minute. The 15-minute. There we go. Healthy 15-minute close above. Expect a little pullback. Possibly continue up. All right, GJ. Problem is I just hit 10 pips, but the R to R is incorrect. Okay, gold is interesting right now. 15-minute close below this whole zone right here. Ended up closing bullish, but below that area. This candle's maybe creating a bottom wick to flip bullish, but it's struggling to break back into this area. So could we get that continuation down? Miles, how's your student housing going?
Oh, it's good, man. Good. No complaints. We already have all the tenants picked for the upcoming season, which starts in May 1st. So the new tenants will we'll be moving in then. But no, it's been awesome. It's been pretty good, honestly. I can't complain. I have, it's 3 of us, so there's 2 of my buddies. So we purchased it together. We each put in a third, and then they kind of handle more of like the maintenance, repair type thing, and I do more of the admin stuff, the tenant acquisition, that sort of thing. So yeah, no, it's been really good. I think we got a great group of, we got some international students in that we selected for this year. And so far they all seem like, yeah, they all seem like gems. Super respectful. You know, they have deep pockets if they're paying international tuition too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then last year, the tenants that we have in there now, they've been awesome too. We had one guy pay, actually we had 2 of them pay like 3-4 months rent in advance, which was unreal. So
I think you told me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah. So no, yeah, it's been really good.
Now, Miles, is this the school that you went to?
No, this is no. I went to school in a place called Ottawa. Yeah, you probably heard Ottawa. That's the capital of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to school in University of Ottawa, and where I live now, I'm about 3.5 hours west of Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You ever think about getting a project like out there by your old school?
Yeah, I've definitely considered it. I definitely have considered it, getting a student rental there. I would just have to reach out to some of my buddies that I went to school with and see if they're still there. But yeah, no, I've definitely considered it for sure.
That'd be a cool story for you.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Looking at this like little retest on the 5-minute. Again, I'm not going to take gold on the 5-minute right now before the 4-hour closes. But you got that little retest of this area.
And that break, giving you that break and retest on the 15-minute, looks like. But it's just so late too.
Yeah, we'll see how this 15-minute closes, because possibly if this 15-minute closes like that, you get the top wick formed and never passing the high of the previous, and then passes the low of it. You could possibly take that, because that means you get the 4-hour wick, top wick formed, and then we flip bearish.
Mm-hmm.
After such a rejection like this, I could see the next candle create like a top wick, then this candle flips bearish and continues down. We'll see. Patience pays. PJ struggling to continue up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be all right.
Yeah, the 2-hour. Yeah, everything looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The 2-hour. I'm not sure if you use the 2-hour, but the 2-hour looks pretty good too.
Let's try that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't close below this level right here, 167.070, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Zorro last night. You guys ever see that?
No, I've never seen it.
Like the Spanish Batman.
I heard of it.
What's up?
Oh no, that I used to love him as a kid.
Oh yeah, no, Zorro. I loved it, and Meg has never seen it before, and I showed her the first one back in like '98, and she actually like really liked it. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Have you seen the black and white one?
No, what, like the original one?
Uh-huh.
No, I haven't.
Oh, they used to play it on Disney Channel as a kid. Yeah, like super late at night. I don't know if you guys remember that intro, that it used to be like, they used to have the trippiest intros and stuff like that back in the day.
Really?
But yeah, they would play it like really late at night, like 12 or 1.
I didn't know.
It was fun.
We're struggling over here. Again, my rules for this trade is as long as we don't close below here, I think we'll be good.
I just closed 50% based on the 5 minute. I probably wouldn't have had I not lost the first one, but just to be ultra conservative on this one.
Yeah, you just want to preserve your capital. You want to keep your earnings.
Exactly.
Trust me, there's going to be plenty of opportunities, as you know, that like the price just pushes right in your direction. It's the perfect trade and it makes up for any of your losses. But like that one trade does not have to happen right now. And that's what most people don't, get while they're in the trade. Because when you're in the trade, emotions get the best of you a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, as you guys can see, this is why we waited for gold.
Yeah.
Feeling this would happen. But again, if we get that resistance formed in this area, then price continues down, I'm in. That'll be my second opportunity for the day or for the session.
If the 15 minute on GJ closed like basically how it is now,
Mhm.
and then the 4 hour made a bottom wick before it went up, that would be beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'll take a weak bearish close over here. Sammy, how about yourself? What are you looking for?
The same thing as you guys, to be honest.
Nice. Always seeing eye to eye.
Yeah. I was so close to 1-to-1 as well. Like I was like $200 off on 1-to-1.
Where's your stop loss?
166,930.
9:30. So
It's
you're
below a 15-minute low. One of the
Okay.
15 lows.
right here. Okay. Oh, your entry was probably right around here.
Yeah, at 167,086.
Yeah, right here. Nice. I'm staying patient with this one. I think it'll be good. It wants to come up. We already broke the bearish trend. We broke the resistance. Strong bullish closes. We took it based on the 1 hour. Actually, took it really based on the 30-minute over here. But strong 30 minutes support formed. This candle already created a bottom wick past the high of that candle. And we should be heading for 167,500. Right? It may take us a little bit. May take us an hour or two, but I could see us heading up for that way. Curious about gold though.
Because all the way on the left, it's rejecting like a daily resistance kind of. So I feel like it's in a tricky spot that it could go either way.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I mean like that level exactly, the 1950.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, sorry, my bad. No, it was like 45, I think.
oh, you're
Yeah.
talking down here. Okay.
Like, yeah, the 45-ish level, it's rejecting that
Okay.
on the
Yeah,
daily.
So we're sitting right between.
Hmm.
Yeah, I honestly I think that 1950 level's even stronger.
Yeah.
Like again, like you're not just gonna blindly take a sell right here either. I'm just saying wait for like a bearish close below or like out of this area, like a strong lower low, lower high formed bearish candle close with a wick to fill, and then you enter after that candle closes. We should retest the low over here. But you kind of want it to close outside of this area.
Right. Yeah.
I just closed my trade.
Beautiful.
16 pips.
Yeah, I just took off a little piece before the 4-hour closes.
Right smack at 1950.
Yep. Strong level.
Happy with that. I had to wait for it. A lot of patience today.
Well, with the GJ trade?
Yeah.
Well done, sir. Yeah,
I'm just waiting for it as well for about 2 hours, I think. Yeah.
And that's really what you've mastered as of late. It's just
Yeah,
like,
patience.
and you love it. What's this app not loading?
And we got out at the right time. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
100%. Yeah, I just took off 50. I left my stop loss in its original spot. If we start like really breaching this area over here, I'll just close the full thing.
Time to journal now.
Yes. Journal how patient you stay on it, especially in the trading AARs.
Okay.
Like proud of the way I stayed patient. All right, so let's just point out what we're going to be doing. Like I said, I'm going to be like managing some risk. If we end up holding support here, right, I may end up entering another one if I don't enter gold over here, where we hold support, we continue right back up to 167,500. Again, if candles close in our direction, it's doing everything we want. That's what I'll be looking for. On gold, I'm looking for this candle to close just the way it is right now. Let's see the 4-hour. Oh. See the 4-hour over here. Yeah, 4 hours looking nice. The 4-hour did close a strong bullish candle over here. So could it just be creating a bottom wick and flipping bullish? Looking at the 1 hour. Let's see what we end up getting over here. I'd like to see a 30-minute candle close over here. Stay in this area. Next one creates a top wick, never passes the high, and then we continue down. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at GJ over here.
I think I'll get out of GJ if it hits that 167.070 mark that you were talking about. I'll probably just get out then.
Yeah, that's smart. That's probably what I'm going to be doing too. Yeah, if we pass the low of the previous 15-minute, I'll be getting out. But
yeah,
with that being said, guys, have a great day, a nice productive day. Keep up with your AARs. We'll check on them on if you want to report to me every day, you can, or if you want to do it at the end of the week, you can do that too. But we'll be picking those back up this week. But if you guys don't have any questions, we're gonna hop off, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Have a
good.
one, everyone.
All right, guys. Thanks for
All
showing
right,
up.
see you guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.